Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please excuse me for coming late. I'll try to come on time from tomorrow. Let's chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's session of Srimad Bhagavatam for all. Let's recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, text 22. Does anyone need to go first? We'll just go in. Okay, Osha Mataji, yes, please. I hope all of you had a wonderful Nishinga Chaturdasi yesterday. Go ahead,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavats Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavats Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripashate tesham nitya abhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, through them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Anyone else need to go? Okay, then we'll go in order. Yes, Achyut Priya Mataji.
Dandavats Pranams Mataji, Hare Krishna. All
Dandavats
glories to
Pranam.
the assembled devotees. Shri
Jai Shri
Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj. Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Translation given by the Srila Prabhupada. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achintya Dev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotee.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Oh, sorry. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam
Ananyas chintayanto mam
Ye Jana Paryupasate
ye janah pari upasate
Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam
tesam nityabhi-uktanam
Yogakshemam Vahamyaham.
yoga shemam vaham aham. Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arunita and Aditi Lata Mataji.
Aditi is coming, Mataji.
Okay. So maybe I'll go to the next person and we get back. When Mataji comes, she'll recite.
I'm here, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Ananyascintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesam nityabhiyuktanam yogakshenam vihamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Arunita's coming?
No, Mataji, not yet.
Okay. Inba, Inya, Jai Shri Mataji, Jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Very good. Inya?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Yes. Prabhuji and Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavats Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavats Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavats Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavats Pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Translation. For those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Isha, Krishna, Shish, Madhava, Rasapriya. Whoever.
Yetana paripasate Samnitabhyuktanam Yogakshamam Yahamyaham.
Vahamyaham.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditate on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Say the sentence again with some gap in between words.
But those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Okay, that was better. Rasapriya.
Ananyastrantayanto mam yetana paryapaste te samnitya piyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have.
Yeah, thank you. Lokesh is here? No? Medha?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ananyaschintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have.
Yes, thank you. Priyanka Mataji is here? No? Saujanya Mataji and Pragnya? Not ready? Suraj Purti? Well, yesterday was a festival. I think everyone had a late program. I'll recite. Meanwhile, if Saujanya Mataji is ready, she can come. Bhagavad Gita 9:22. Ananyaschintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Achit Priya Mataji. Yeah, Saujanya Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranams, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to the assembled devotees.
Dandot Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Chintayanto mam ejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who worship me with
Always worship me.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack. I preserve what they have. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Achit Priya Mataji, raise your hand.
Yes, I just want to recite once again. Try Mataji, because
Go
today
ahead,
is
go ahead.
last Friday. Ananya Sintayanto Mami Jana Paryapasati Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Shemam Vahamyaham. But those who worship me with devotion,
Always worship me.
always worship me with exclusive devotion. For them, I preserve what they have, and
There's one more. Who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form.
Yes, but for those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, for them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. Thank you, Mataji.
Very good. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, so yeah, today is the last day we are reciting this verse. It's Friday. So if everyone has recited, we'll begin with Srimad Bhagavatam.
Mataji Prajna will recite.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ananyaschintayanto mam yajana paryupashyate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It was a nice drama yesterday. I saw Pragna, I saw Medha, I saw Arunita. Nice performance. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie.
Okay.
Mataji, did you see the best part here? Hiranyakashipu and Narasimhadev. My God, they were like electrifying on the stage, electrifying and scaring everyone.
Yeah, it was something. It was amazing. We were laughing like anything yesterday, seeing it
Where did you see Mataji?
online.
Oh, okay.
It was broadcast live, so we were watching at the same time.
Oh, wonderful.
It was bit more scarier when they were actually practicing Mataji. So I asked Shashi Shekhar Prabhuji, why did you miss that other part of scaring? He said, Mataji, small kids, when they mess up with one or two dialogues, everything gets little, especially with the guards.
Yeah.
He had two more steps the way he was scaring them from one end to other end. It was good.
Ultimately, whatever the Lord wanted to manifest that day, that came out.
Ah, yes.
Yes, it was very nice, and Hiranyakashipu was really very scary. Especially the little ones were in fear, real fear, when they.
And
Did any?
the best part of his acting was Mataji. If anyone is actually messing up, the way he was managing that, even when he's like everyone was laughing when his mustache shaft came off. I mean, he managed it like ha ha ha, what ha ha ha. Like it was so amazing. It was so nice to watch.
Yeah, very nice.
All kids did wonderful acting, very nice. Arunita, Pragya, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we'll begin. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 19. Vamandev begs from Bali Maharaj, right? Lord Vamandev begs charity from Bali Maharaj. So let's see what we were reading. So, yeah, Bali Maharaj said, your intelligence is not, is not sufficient because you're just a boy. Therefore, you don't know what is in your best self-interest. I can give you the whole island, that means a whole planet, and you're asking only for three steps of land. Anyone who approaches me once, they shouldn't have to ask again in their whole life. So ask for something big like that. So then in answer to that, Vamandev said that if somebody is not able to control his senses, even if you give him, what to speak of one planet, you give him all the three planetary systems, whatever there is in the entire creation for sense gratification, if his senses are uncontrolled, even that will be insufficient for him. You give him everything and still he won't be satisfied. He won't become happy. So the key to happiness is satisfaction. If you're not satisfied with three steps of land, then you won't be satisfied with getting all the three planetary systems or all the 9 varshas or the whole Jambudvipa, whatever you get, you're not going to be satisfied. Right? And then also the instruction that the Brahmanas, they should be satisfied with whatever they get by destiny, right? They should not be greedy, because even if the other person is giving me more, just because it's coming for free, I might say, okay, they're giving anyway. I'm not asking, but they're giving me. Let me just take it all and save it for future. What is the result? The Brahma Tejas, the Brahmanical power, or his God consciousness, he will lose that. His spiritual potency will be lost. It will decrease. So, as just like when you put water on fire, fire is diminished. Similarly, for a Brahmana, if he accumulates more than what he absolutely needs, his spiritual potency will diminish. So I'm a Brahmana. So based on this principle that you should only accept what you need and you should be satisfied with whatever is provided to you by destiny, you should be satisfied with that. Otherwise, there's no question of satisfaction. There's no question of happiness, right? If you're not satisfied, there's no question of happiness. We don't become happy by accumulating and acquiring more and more things. Also, material existence causes discontent in regard to fulfilling one's lusty desires and achieving more and more money. This is the cause for the continuation of material life. And what is the other side? So, for a Brahmana, you should be satisfied. What is the result of not being satisfied? And what is the cause of not being satisfied? First of all, why am I not satisfied? Because of my lusty desires. Lusty desires means my senses are not controlled. My senses are not controlled. Therefore, to fulfill my lusty desires, I want more and more and I'm not satisfied. I'm discontent with what I have. And this type of discontentment, wanting more and more, not being satisfied with what one has, this is the cause of his his continuation of repeated birth and death. So what is the opposite of this? If we remain satisfied with whatever we get by destiny and use our time for Krishna consciousness, then such a person will become liberated from material existence. Someone who is hankering for more and more, he will not be liberated. He will take birth again and again, because his hankering means he still wants more. Where will he get? He'll have to try here only. So as long as we have even a tinge of material desire, there's no question of liberation. You have to come back again and again. So then, yeah. And what is the result of being satisfied? So for a Brahmana should be satisfied. What happens if he is satisfied? Then he will increase his spiritual power. He will increase his spiritual power. And the opposite, if he is not satisfied, he will decrease his spiritual power. So therefore, I'm asking only for 3 steps. Just give me that. So Bali Maharaj said, okay. All right. After listening to this whole philosophy, okay, you take whatever you want. And then he took some water to chant the mantra to say, yes, I'm promising, like that. But as soon as he took the water pot, Shukracharya, his guru, came and he understood. Shukracharya, Ushana Kavi, right? Krishna says, of all Kavis, I am Shukracharya. So that means Shukracharya is empowered. So Shukracharya could see, oh, this is not an ordinary simple Brahmana. This is the Lord Vishnu who has come here. He's going to take everything away from my disciple. So he went and he said, Bali Maharaj, oh son of Virochana. Okay, Virochana is the son of Hiranyakashipu. Sorry, Virochana is the son of Prahlad Maharaj. Virochana is the son of Prahlad Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj is the son of Virochana. So Shukracharya is saying, oh son of Virochana, this boy who looks like a dwarf, it's not a Brahmana. This is the Supreme Lord himself. He is the son of Kashyapa and Aditi. Aditi is the mother of the demigods. He has come here for the sake of the demigods, for the benefit of the demigods. He is going to take everything away from you to help the demigods. You already put yourself in a dangerous situation by agreeing to give him 3 steps of land. In the name of 3 steps, he'll take away everything from you. He will take your land, your wealth, your power, your beauty, your position, your education, your fame, everything will be gone. Remember how Bali Maharaj got all this? Because he had served Shukracharya. Shukracharya was very pleased and he made him perform so many yagyas, and he gave him so much power, so much so he became so powerful that Lord Brahma also said, and even the Supreme Lord told Aditi, and also Lord Brahma told Indra, that this is not the time to fight with Bali, because he is very powerful. Why he is so powerful? Because he is protected by the Lord, by the Brahmanas, by the power of the Brahmanas. The Supreme Lord won't go against. When a Brahmana gives any blessing, the Supreme Lord will not go against that. That means Bali is very powerful now by dint of serving his spiritual master Shukracharya very faithfully, and the Guru being pleased with him, he has bestowed all his blessings upon Bali Maharaj. So Shukracharya is saying that whatever position you have now, whatever you are enjoying now, that fame, position and power and strength, all that will be taken away by this Brahmana in the form of this charity he is asking. It looks like only 3 steps. He is going to take everything away. And then what will he do after taking all this from you? he will go and give it to your enemy Indra. Is that what you want? Like that. So now text 33. Who's supposed to read today?
Mataji, who is telling whom that he will give to Indra?
Shukracharya is telling his disciple Bali. Bali Maharaj said to Vaman Dev, I will give. Okay, take whatever. You want only 3 steps. Okay, that's what you want, I will give you. And he took a water pot to give Vaman Dev. Immediately, Bali Maharaj's guru Shukracharya came there and he said, wait, don't give. And he started speaking.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. So, whose turn is it today? Anyone remembers? You think while I read the verse. Tribihi kramair imallokan vishwakayah kramishyati sarvasvam vishnave dattva mudhavartishyase katham. I think we just started from the beginning last time from Achutpriya Mataji, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know how far we went.
Vinyayamba read, and then I don't know who was.
Jai Shri Mataji and Jai Ganesh Prabhu were not there, so let them read today, if they're there. Translation and purport.
Mataji, we all read on that day. Also, I think Rasapriya and Krishna is also read on that day, I guess.
Good, thank you. So, Usha Mataji, Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry Mataji, I am driving and Medha
Drive.
might have already left to school.
Left. Okay. Saujanya Mataji and Pragna. Not ready? Suhrud is also not here. So we'll just go to Achutpriya Mataji. Mataji, go ahead.
I'll read slowly. You have promised to give him 3 steps of land in charity, but when you give it, he will occupy the 3 worlds. You are a rascal. You do not know what a great mistake you have made. After giving everything to Lord Vishnu, you will have no means of livelihood. How then shall you live? Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So from this you can understand, is Shukracharya a devotee? No. Because a devotee will say, he will depend on the Lord. He will not have any doubts. Just now we learned. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate. Ananya. Ananya means simply serving Krishna. So if Krishna is asking me for something, is there any greater fortune than that? Krishna personally comes to you and says, I want this. How will a devotee feel? Right? Will he say, oh, if I give you, then what will happen to me? How I will live? A devotee will not think like that. So from there itself you can tell whether you are a devotee or not. If I am in that situation and if Krishna says, give me everything, will I give or not? Will I start thinking? So Shukracharya said, what is Shukracharya saying here? He asked you for 3 steps of land, and in the name of those 3 steps, he's going to cover all the 3 worlds. What will remain for you? You rascal. Guru, right? Guru can chastise the disciple. Right? Guru. So he's saying, you rascal, you are a rascal. Why you gave that without thinking? Without asking, just you said, okay, take. What is the result of you lose everything? And also, by the way, if you lose everything, how you'll maintain all of us? That's also there, isn't it? What will we eat tomorrow? How we will survive if everything is gone? He's going to take everything away from you. He has come from the enemy's side. He wants to benefit the demigods. And you agreed to give everything. You're thinking only 3 steps. You don't know what a great mistake you have made. Now, after he takes everything away from you, you give everything to him, you won't have any means of livelihood. What will you eat? How will you survive? How will you maintain? Often in devotees also this question comes, isn't it? When you want to take to Krishna consciousness, especially it's when somebody, wants to become a full-time devotee, there's a lot of agitation in the family. How will we survive? Who will maintain? You should work. You should, work and earn your livelihood, and then you can do side by side Krishna consciousness also. But don't give up your work. How you will survive? What is lacking here? What is
Faith.
lacking? Shraddha. Shraddha is lacking. So when we don't have Shraddha, then what should we do?
We should continue with our work and also do devotional service.
Excellent. That's what we should do. As long as we don't have Shraddha, we should continue work. And while working, we should also cultivate our Shraddha by associating with devotees, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping the Lord. We are doing whatever we are doing, we are already doing. The only thing is, just we are understanding that I'm not Ananya Bhakta yet, because Ananya Bhakta's definition is this, right? Ananya Bhakta means he has full Shraddha. So we are just recognizing that I still don't have full Shraddha. So I'm not yet in pure devotional service. When I get full Shraddha, I will not get any doubts about whether I will be maintained or not. I will be completely confident. Then why I am working? It's not that all Ananya Bhaktas will leave home and they'll be in the jungle or they will be in the temple. Not necessarily. They don't mind doing anything. They can be, to set example, like Prahlad Maharaj, he's the king. Bali Maharaj is the king. Prahlad Maharaj, let's take Prahlad Maharaj as example. Yesterday we had Nishinga Chaturdasi, we were reading and hearing, seeing Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, after getting darshan of Nrsimhadev said, now you rule. Take the kingdom of your father. For one kalpa, now you rule. And then afterwards, at the end of that, you'll come back to me. So why Prahlad Maharaj needs to rule and do the duty of a king, like a Kshatriya? He already got,
To show us.
To show us, to set an example to us. You still don't have Shraddha, you work like this. Like what? You work that, do that duty which is prescribed in the scriptures for you. And while doing that work, right, you don't do any sinful activities. You do only those activities which are prescribed to you according to your nature in the Shastra. Simplify your life, and side by side you practice Krishna consciousness. To show us like that, they do it because they don't have any desire. They don't even say, I want to go back to Godhead. Prahlad Maharaj, what did he say? I don't want to go to Godhead until there is at least one person remaining here, one foolish person remaining here trying to enjoy this material world. I want to just send everyone back home, back to Godhead. I cannot tolerate to see anyone suffering in this material world. Saujanya Mataji, you're raising your hand.
Yes, Mataji. So is the literal meaning of Shraddha is faith?
Shraddha means faith in what? So there are some statements, conclusions of the scriptures. What is that? That the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My constitutional position is I am an eternal servant of Krishna. That is my only identity. All other designations that I have, that's not me. They are imposed on me because of my body, temporary situation. But my actual position is I'm a servant. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means he's the only master for everyone. And I'm eternally his servant. So being his servant, what is my only dharma? To render 24 hours devotional service to him. This is my only dharma. I don't need to do anything else. When someone has full faith in this, that is called Shraddha. Okay?
Oh, okay, Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can
further understand Shraddha, what is the symptom? When someone has this Shraddha, the symptom is, this is
no
also
fear.
said in the, no fear.
No
Yeah.
fear.
No fear. This is also said in the Shastra. One who surrenders to the Lord, he becomes fearless. One who does not surrender to the Lord, he is fearful. So, surrender to the Lord is a symptom of Shraddha. You're completely surrendered to the Lord. You don't worry about who will maintain me, how I will survive, who will take care of my children, who will take care of my nothing. I am surrendered to Krishna. He is my master. He will take care of me. This is Sharanagati. And however he wants to deal with me, he can deal with me because I am his property. So this type of consciousness, it cannot be cultivated artificially. This consciousness will come by the practice of devotional service as it is given by the Acharya. It is not that now theoretically I understand this is what it is. Just because I know this theory, it doesn't mean I'm already there. Or artificially I can jump there. So we are trying to understand what should be the consciousness of somebody who has full Shraddha. This consciousness will come when you follow the method given by the Acharya. So we should, whatever, following 4 regulative principles. Chanting, yesterday I was listening to my Guru Maharaj's lecture about Nishingdev. So he said, what is that? Not it was not after Nishingdev, the lectures continued. So it went to Shishupal's story. Or actually it is Shishupal in this only, because same Jai Vijay came as Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu and Dantavakra Shishupal finally, right? So about Shishupal he was saying. So Shishupal would blaspheme the Lord. So he got a boon. His mother asked for a boon from Krishna. So Krishna said, he can blaspheme me 100 times and each of that blasphemy deserves capital punishment. Like such severe offense he will do, which actually the punishment for that offense would be capital, like killing. Like that he can do 100 offenses continuously. That's also a condition. That means if he takes a break after he says some and he takes a break and again he will continue, then again he can go for 100. But continuously if he goes to 100 and he goes beyond, then that's when I will kill him. Otherwise I will forgive him, Krishna said. So Shishupal is always keeping count. So he will start, oh Krishna, this, that, right? He'll say. And then when he is nearing 100, he will stop. He'll take a break. He'll rest for some time. And again he will start. So always he's keeping track of that 100 so that he won't cross that 100 and he keeps blaspheming. So my Guru Maharaj was saying that Shishupal keeps count like that. We should keep count that I should never come down of 16. Always keep track of that 16. So that 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the minimum which will protect. For Shishupal, 100 means, crossing 100 means death. Yes? For us, going below 16 means death. Going below 16 rounds is death. Death in what way? Death of our spiritual life. We'll be lost. Because this order is coming from the spiritual master that will protect us. It will keep us afloat. But if we don't take that seriously, when we come below 16, then it's spiritual death for us. So how seriously we should take? Srila Prabhupada said, you just chant these 16 rounds. There's protection coming from there. But that does not mean you stop at 16. It means you don't come down. That is minimum, at least 16. What is maximum? Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. But those who always worship me 24/7, that is Ananya Bhakti. But to come to Ananya Bhakti, the qualification that Srila Prabhupada is giving, you will get entrance into Ananya Bhakti. Entrance into Ananya Bhakti means you are now qualified to enter, just like you enter into a university, right? And to enter into a university, you need some prerequisites. You want to enter into a medical school, you have to pass that entrance exam, get a particular rank, and then you'll be admitted. As soon as you're admitted, you become a doctor or what? Now you have to practice, study, and take exams. And finally, after 5 years, 7 years, whatever, you get a certificate. Now you're a doctor. Now you're allowed to practice. Isn't it? Like that, you get entrance to the mercy of the spiritual master. And now you start practicing and build your Shraddha. When you get full Shraddha, when you're doing always devotional service, Then you enter into Ananya Bhakti. Like that. So anyway, Saujanya Mataji, was that clear about Shraddha?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. And
Thank
I
you.
can read. I'm back, so I can read.
Yes, Mataji. Let's continue.
Let me complete first, Mataji.
Yeah.
I'll read the purport, right?
Yeah.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Okay. Bali Maharaj might argue that he had promised only 3 steps of land, but Shukracharya, being a very learned Brahmana, immediately understood that this was a plan of Hari, who had falsely appeared there as a brahmachari. The words Mura Vartishyashe Katham reveal that Shukracharya was a Brahmana of the priestly class. Such priestly Brahmanas are mostly interested in receiving remuneration from their disciples. Therefore, when Shukracharya saw that Bali Maharaj had risked all his possessions, he understood that this would cause havoc not only to the king but also to the family of Shukracharya, who was dependent on Maharaj Bali's mercy. This is the difference between a Vaishnava and a Smartha Brahmana. A Smartha Brahmana is always interested in material profit, whereas Vaishnava is interested only in satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From the statement of Shukracharya, it appears that he was in all respects a Smartha Brahmana, interested only in personal gain. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Another important point here, Smartha Brahmana. So you see, among the demons, Daityas, even in Ravana's Sri Lanka, we see there are Brahmanas. So in all classes, you have Brahmanas. I mean, in all groups, right? Species. There are Brahmanas. But does that mean that all Brahmanas are Krishna conscious? No. Brahmana does not mean Krishna conscious. Actually, Brahmana means Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. He will understand that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. He will understand that. But still he has material desires. Interesting. That means he's still under the, of course, Brahmana is also under the modes. It's not like he's transcended the modes. He's in the mode of goodness. He's in the mode of goodness. Mode of goodness, Sattvam Sanjayate Jnanam. The mode of goodness reveals knowledge. What is that knowledge? That I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. Your sense enjoyment won't be gross, but nevertheless, you're still in the material modes only. So, Shukracharya is a Smartha Brahmana. Remember, I told you, Varnashram system can be Karmakanda Varnashram system. It can be, the impersonal Varnashram system. And then finally, you have the Daiva Varnashram system. So, Smartha Brahmanas are from the Karmakandiya Varnashram system. That means they follow Smritis, Shastras, right? But they only they're only interested in that section of the Vedas or Smritis that talk about improving material situation, even going to heavenly planets, enjoying like that. That's all they're interested in. And they're Brahmanas. So Shukracharya is a Smartha Brahmana. From his concern, we can understand. Srila Prabhupada is saying, what is his concern? How you will get your livelihood if you give everything to him? First of all, he knows this is the Supreme Lord. He knows this is the Supreme Lord and is forbidding Bali Maharaj from giving charity to the Supreme Lord, because if he gave charity to the Lord, how I will maintain myself? And being a priest, Purohita, right? A priest, family priest. The priest is maintained by the king or the head of the family. So if he has no income, how I will maintain my family? That's his concern. If you lose everything, how I will be maintained? Where I will get my maintenance from? So this type of concern shows that he's not really, he's not a Vaishnava. He's not a Vaishnava. That's why our program is not to just simply establish a Varnashram system, specifically not a Karmakandiya Varnashram system or an impersonal Varna. Impersonal means moksha is the goal of life. When Sripad Shankaracharya was here, the whole society was guided by the principles of impersonal philosophy. That means the goal of life is to get moksha. Moksha means go and merge into Brahman. That was the philosophy, because the particular leader who will come, he will spread only those, he will pick only those messages from the Vedas, and he will propagate them in the whole society. Priya Mataji, you're raising your hand. Achut Priya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, I took time in muting. Mataji, sorry, this is the basic question. Karma yoga, I know. What is karma kanda, Mataji?
So karma yoga has two types: nishkama karma and sakama karma. Okay, so yoga means connecting with the Supreme Lord. Connecting with the Supreme Lord. So you're doing work and you're offering that work to the Supreme Lord. That is called karma yoga. Okay, so you do work, and work also not just any work. You have to do work which is prescribed in the scriptures. Otherwise, we are not even karmis. We are vikarmis. Karmis means you do work which is prescribed in the scripture. And that work also you offer to the Supreme Lord. How you offer? You work, let's say you're a farmer, you grow, and then the fruit that you get, the result that you get, you offer it to the Supreme Lord. That is called karma yogi. Now, he may expect something in return from the karma that he's doing. If he wants that I'm offering to the Lord, now the Lord will give me, good health, good this and all that. You're expecting something, that becomes sakama karma yogi. And if he's thinking, I'm offering to the Lord because this work is binding me, isn't it? Any work that we do in this world, it binds us. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when I do some work, then that work binds me to this world. Karma means karmic reaction will come. And I don't want bandhan in this world. I don't want bondage in this world. So if I offer to the Lord, I will not get any bondage. After this, I can get liberated. I don't want, because this world is miserable. That is called nishkama karma. You're doing karma and you're giving the result with the idea that I don't want any bondage, nishkama karma. So nishkama karma will lead you to that impersonal path, jnana path, where one ultimately wants to go and merge into Brahman. That is nishkama karma. Sakama karma, sakama karma yogi, goal is not sakama karma, but even if he has some material desires, instead of, so there are three types of desires. You can have material desire, you can have desire for detachment, or you can do out of love for the Lord. You work and you offer it to the Lord. But because you're still working, therefore you're not yet counted as unalloyed devotee yet. You have attachment to the work. You have attachment to the work, not that you're doing work to set example to others. You are attached to that work. And at the same time, you love the Lord also. And the work that you do, you offer it to the Lord. Our Acharya say, good, do it. You're attached to some work, you do that. And you offer it to the Lord with love. Why? Because, what is that shloka? By doing this type of work, Ataha Sri Krishna, what is that 13th verse? 1 to 13, Srimad Bhagavatam. When you do Varnashrama duties properly, and the goal is Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, right? So when the Lord is pleased, what is the result? By doing your Varnashram duties for the pleasure of the Lord, the result is you'll get Vasudeva Katharuchi. Bhagavad Gita 259 you're saying. Acha, Vishaya Vinivartante. Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Acha, okay. Yeah. But I'm going into finer details here, because that giving up, for what purpose you're doing, I'm explaining. Giving up, okay, certainly you're giving up. But giving up can be done for the sake of getting some material result. It can be done for the sake of getting some spiritual result, right? Like you don't want detachment, or that can also be done to get love of the Lord. So that love of the Lord will come. Love of the Lord means taste for Krishna consciousness will come when you do your duties to please the Lord. Understand? So working to please the Lord is not in and itself pure devotional service. But when you work and you offer the fruit of your work, why you're working? That's the first question. Because I have a taste for work. That's the point. I have a taste to do this work. Guna karma, right? I have this particular guna. I identify myself as a Brahmana. I cannot do the work of a Kshatriya or a Vaishya because this is my nature. I'm strongly under that nature still. So the Lord is saying, do. You are identifying yourself with that body, no problem. This is where you are. Now you do that work, and the result of that you offer to the Lord with love. And when you offer like that to the Lord with love, what is that? What will happen by doing this type of work? You will develop Vasudeva Katharuchi. Vasudeva Katharuchi means you are getting bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Right? Katharuchi means you are getting taste for Shravanam. That will come. By doing your work and offering to the Lord, that should be the result. That should be the result. So do your work. So this is Karma Yoga. So when you say Karma Kanda, Mataji, Karma Kanda means there is no question of Lord. There is not even any question of detachment from that karma that you're doing. You're not trying to connect with the Supreme in any way. At least the Gyanis are also trying to connect with the Supreme in an impersonal way, like what Shankaracharya has taught, right? Go and merge into Supreme. Some way you're trying to connect with the Supreme. Karma Kandis, they have no understanding of, even if they have understanding that ultimately Lord Vishnu is the Yagya Purusha and everything has to be offered, their only understanding is unless we offer to him, we cannot get our. Their only interest is, their goal is, I want my material result. That's all. So even I bow down in front of the Lord, even if I offer something, the purpose is I want my material result. There is a difference. Those who are in the Varnashram system, the Chaturvida Bhajante Mam, Sukritinaha, it is said. Sukritinaha means they will ask material results from the Lord, but whether they get the result or not, they will just worship the Lord only. They have nothing else to do. They're only worshipping the Lord. They're not worshipping any demigods. They're not worshipping any demigods. They're only worshipping the Lord. Whereas Karmakandi is, they will worship different demigods. To get this, you go to this demigod. To get that, you go to that demigod. To get good health, you worship Surya, this vrata, this puja. So many things they will do. Why? Because you get something in return. When you do this, you'll get this. When you do that, you'll get that. And yes, they may even accept, yes, some demigods on top of this. There is Vishnu. So you have to please Vishnu. You get. But my point is, my only interest is I want what I want in this material world. They are driven by lusty desires. That is a karma kandi. So they may either go to a demigod, or even if they go to the Lord, they go, take, and they come back. They're not interested in bhakti. They're naradhama. Naradhama means they go for what they want. Once they get, they forget. Clear? Achut Priyamati.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much. So it's same as like this karmis what they are doing that.
Karmi or karma kandi, same. It means the same. But also karmis are actually superior to vikarmis. That's one thing we should understand. Karmis, they do work which is prescribed in the Shastra only. Karmi does work which is prescribed. Like we read in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, at the time of, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, what was the condition of the society? People were after material education, after wealth. Elaborately, they were spending on weddings, but everything was done according to the Vedic system, according to the instructions, how you can enjoy. Material enjoyment also is done according to the scriptural injunctions. In the scriptures, there's room for enjoyment in goodness, enjoyment in passion, enjoyment in ignorance. But still, they do it according to the injunctions given in the scriptures. That is a karmi. Are we doing that now in the world outside? Like asur, like completely atheistic mentality. That means no following the scripture. So we cannot even call the present day society's people karmis. They are vikarmis. No, not taking any guidance from the scripture. But of course, Krishna consciousness is transcendental, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is transcendental. Provided you have a good leader who knows, an expert guru who knows how to uplift these people, how to bring them back. Like Srila Prabhupada did, he came and he took karmis in the deepest modes of ignorance, and he was able to train them into the highest level Vaishnavas. But there is a procedure to do that. If you really think about it, how did Srila Prabhupada conduct the society when he was on the planet? Devotees were all in the temple all the time, isn't it? They were all like initially new. When you're new, you're still coming and going. But when you become serious, once you take initiation, they were all in the temple. That means they had that association 24/7. But now, majority of the devotees are living outside. They have their jobs outside. They're controlled by the government outside, controlled by the systems outside. We don't have that type of association. We are controlled more by the modes of passion and ignorance than we are controlled by. We have to seek that out. So that is why and in the temple, how many families can you accommodate? How many? Right? Temple means you have one building, two buildings. How many families can you accommodate? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithivite ache jatto nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe moranam. Everywhere on the whole planet, everyone will. So where will you fit all these people in the temple? So we should have societies, devotee communities. Like one temple, now you have a whole society of only devotees. It is happening already. It is happening already. But we should become less and less dependent on the systems outside. Even for our basic necessities, we should try to become more and more self-sufficient. Self-sufficient means it's not possible. One family cannot become self-sufficient on its own. As a community, right? So just like this is Varnashram system. Daiva Varnashram system means the goal is pure devotional service. We all want pure devotional service, but one person cannot do everything. I cannot, take care of cows and provide milk, and I will only grow my food, and I will only make my cloth, and how? You see, in joint families, when you had those of you who have experience with joint families, there are different members in the family. Each person takes one responsibility and the whole thing is moving in one unit. Just you extend that to the whole society. Now there will be a whole society and like one big family. So some devotees take care of one part of, you have these Amish communities here, if you have ever seen, right? They also, somebody is expert in building homes and they help each other. Another person, they make all milk products, cheese and all that. Someone else is a carpenter, somebody else is growing food, and then that is shared in the whole community, and then the whole community has one goal. So Daiva Varnashram system's goal is we should all together. So externally you may be doing the work of a Shudra or Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, it does not matter, because on the spiritual platform everyone is aspiring for pure unalloyed devotional service. In such a atmosphere, we can all actually make progress in Krishna consciousness. And then also we can learn from attempts were made. It's not like attempts were not made. Srila Prabhupada started the new Vrindavan farm community. So many farm communities he started. That was the whole idea. But mistakes were made because of not having proper understanding. That is why Srila Prabhupada said, before you start a community, first there should be a Varnashrama college. Varnashrama college, every center, every temple should have Varnashram college. Varnashram college means where you are educated about this. What does it mean? And then each, according to your nature, each person, he should be given resources. So he's preparing, if I move to a farm community or if I'm living in a simpler society, what is it that I will be able to offer, right? So those facilities, that research should be done, and that information and those research and education should be provided to the individuals while we are still working in the city. Not that we just think that This is how we are going to live, and we will all become Krishna conscious. We are all going back to Godhead, doing job in the outside world. You see, each and every day we are seeing how things are getting more and more degraded. There is so much insecurity of job, isn't it? You cannot
Yes,
even live
Mataji.
peacefully in one place. It's like you're always worrying. But if you had your community where you're not depending on this system, you wouldn't have to worry about how I will maintain myself, because we'll be depending on the system of the Lord. And the Lord system, it all works together. You know, the demigods are working. They will provide rain. Why? Because we are chanting Hare Krishna. Why they will not provide? All the problems that are happening now is because we are going against the law of nature, against the law of the Lord. We are drilling the earth for gas, and we are doing this and that, so much plastic and industries and factories. This is not the Lord's system. And the more we work in this direction, the more we are going against the Lord's law, the more the nature is showing. You know, there's so many hurricanes and earthquakes. And this. What does all this mean? We are going away. And as devotees, if we are simply depending on this system, what is the future? Our life somehow we may just finish. What about the next generation? We are already seeing in the case of our children. Where are our children? We are struggling. We are trying to be Krishna conscious. What's happening to our children? Are they also taking to Krishna consciousness? Because they are completely, we put them under that system. We ourselves are under the system. Our maintenance is coming from them. And our children also, they go to the same schools, they are trained. Now, what will happen in the next generation? Think about it. So,
This is very scary.
isn't it? Yeah. So individually, while we are practicing our Krishna consciousness, chanting 16 nouns, practicing, we should also collectively start thinking about the future of the movement. Srila Prabhupada was one person. He could have just stayed in Radha Damodar temple, and he could have just chanted, and he could have gone back to Godhead. But Vaishnavas are paradukha dukhi, right? So they're always thinking about everyone else. What about all the other people who are going to go to hell because of this demoniac civilization? So we should also do our little bit. And it is we in our lifetime may or may not be able to see that situation, but we can put the bricks, you see. So the next future generation, they like our seniors, our superiors, whatever they have done, the sankirtan that they did, the book distribution that they did, whatever they laid the foundation, and because of that we were able to come to Krishna consciousness. So similarly now we should also pave the way for the future people who are going to come to Krishna consciousness, and also the existing ones, especially our children. I'm talking about our next generation. It's not that every time now again they will have to meet some devotee who meets them on the street and gives them a book of Bhagavad Gita, and they have to be kicked by Maya so many times, and then they learn their lesson and they will see Bhagavad Gita, then they have a change of heart and they take to Krishna consciousness. Why? We are already families, we are practicing. By that practice, by that culture, they should nicely be groomed as devotees from childhood only. We should create such an atmosphere. We want to create, but because we are dependent on the system outside, we are not able to give them that. And we are also not able to practice ourselves properly. We are being pulled this way, that way, isn't it? That is why at least we should at least support it, right? Whether physically I'm able to do anything right now or not, we should certainly support this with our hearts. We should pray to the Lord, because this is the way. We should believe that this is the way, right? This is the way, this is the Lord's path, and we should pray to the Lord. And then already there are devotees, working for this, and in whatever way we can support, we should try to support and hope. Like you see, Jai Ganesh Prabhu, he had a nice job. Yeah, he left and he went to India to support this, to simplify the lifestyle. Now, everyone may not be able to do it right away, but we can support someone who's doing like that, right? And then it's not one person's job. One person alone cannot do it. We have to come together. And then when we do it, we start a community, then it will happen.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nice.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we did not, let me see. So we were talking about Smarta Brahmanas. That's why this whole discussion came up. What's his name? Shukracharya is telling Bali Maharaj that don't give. What will happen? How you will maintain yourself? That means his concern is how he'll maintain Bali Maharaj, how Bali Maharaj will maintain, and also I am dependent on Bali Maharaj, right? If he loses everything, I also lose everything. So that's why he's chastising. You are a rascal, like that. So the words Muda Vartishyase Katham means you are a rascal, he's saying. That reveals that he was a Smarta Brahmana. He was a Smarta Brahmana. He's not really a Vaishnava, like that. Okay, so we'll stop there. So Arunita, Aditi Lata Mataji read, and Arunita has to read. Yeah, so Saujanya Mataji also missed your turn today, Mataji. Okay, so we'll stop here. Actually, we can read Bhagavad Gita. One second. Bookmark. What am I doing? Not signed. I'm signed in already. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18, text 29. Please repeat. Buddhirmedam dhriteschaiva
बुद्धेर्भेदं मृतश्चैव
gunatas trividham shrinu
गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु
prochyamanam asheshena
प्रोच्यमानम् अशेषेण
prithakttvena dhananjaya.
पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय.
O winner of wealth,
O winner of wealth,
now please listen
now please listen
as I tell you in detail
As I tell you
as I
in
tell you in
detail
of the
detail
different kinds of understanding and determination
of the
the
different kinds
different
of
kinds of
understanding and determination
according to the three modes of material nature.
according to the
according to
three
the
modes
three
of
modes of
material
material
nature.
nature.
So we saw the worker, we saw knowledge according to the three modes of material nature, we saw action in three modes of material nature. So now the Lord is saying, now I will tell you about the different kinds of understanding and determination. So now we are going to see understanding and determination in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Purport. Now, after explaining knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower in three different divisions, according to the modes of material nature, the Lord is explaining the intelligence and understanding means intelligence. Intelligence and determination of the worker in the same way. So that we will read tomorrow. And we'll also read little bit of Leelamrita so that there will be continuity. Otherwise, we'll lose. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Also, let me tell you, today is the appearance of Radha Ramanji in Vrindavan. So it's a very beautiful pastime, just we don't have time to discuss. But in short, Gopal Bhatta Goswami is one of the 6 Goswamis. Gopal Bhatta Goswami is the son of Venkata Bhatta. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India, remember he was traveling in the Madhya Leela. We see Mahaprabhu traveled to South India for 6 years. So for 6 years he traveled all over, but he went to South India. So during the travel he was in Sri Rangam, and it was Chaturmasya. So during Chaturmasya, Mahaprabhu stayed in the house of one great devotee from Ramanuja Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, called Venkata Bhatta. Venkata Bhatta had a son called Gopal Bhatta. He was a small boy at that time. So this Gopal Bhatta was very much, he had great love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's a small boy, and Mahaprabhu was so kind to him. So he just was in love with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him. He wanted to go with Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him, no, you serve your parents. And after they leave their bodies, then you come and join the Goswamis in Vrindavan. Like that the Lord had instructed. So he did that. So that same Gopal Bhatta became Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami, when he came to Vrindavan, So he is one of the 6 Goswamis. And even Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. Before writing, he went to take blessings from everyone. When he went to take blessings from Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Gopal Bhatta Goswami said, I can give you a blessing, my blessings on one condition, that you don't glorify me, don't say anything about me in your book. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami absolutely required the blessings, right? So he agreed. So that is why in Chaitanya Charitamrita we see elaborate discussions about Rupa Goswami's life, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami also. But about Gopal Bhatt Jiva Goswami, we don't see so much because Jiva Goswami was still very young. Who is Jiva Goswami? He's the son of or the nephew of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. So we don't read so much about Jiva Goswami because he joined late. He was young. But Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was there already, but we don't find information about him so much. Very lightly here and there we find some information, but not in detail for this reason. So this Gopal Bhatta Goswami, when he was in Vrindavan, so yesterday's Narsingha Chaturdasi, so before that he had the Shaligram Shilas. That's another pastime, how he got all the Shaligram Shilas from the Gandaki river, now in Nepal. So, you know, he went there and he was coming away, and these Shaligram Shilas, I think 12 Shaligram Shilas, they just jumped into his hands, and then he put them back in the water, and again they jumped back. So they wanted to be worshipped by Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So he took those Shaligram Shilas and he was worshipping them. But he had a great desire, on Nrisingha Chaturdasi, how the Lord, you dress, when you have a deity, you dress him nicely, bathe him, dress him with nice clothes, put so much jewelry. Because Govinda, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they had their deities, right? Madan Mohan, Sanatan Goswami's Madan Mohan deity, Rupa Goswami's Radha Govinda deity. Nicely you can dress them, and you can give them, put on nice clothes, outfits and jewelry and crown and everything. But Shaligram Shilas, you cannot do such elaborate. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami had this desire that I wish I could also dress my Shaligram Shilas nicely like that. This was on Nrisingha Chaturdasi day. So the next day when he went to take bath in the morning, next day means today's Purnima, and when he came back, he saw one of the Shilas, the Damodar Shila, actually grew up and into a very beautiful threefold bending form of Krishna. That Shaligram Shila is a self-manifest, Radharaman. So that Radharaman, and you can still see at the bottom that if you go close, well, we don't get to see, but those who worship the pujaris, the bottom, the base is still, you can see that from the Shaligram Shira, this deity grew up. So that you will still see that part at the bottom. So this Radharaman deity, he came and he was so enchanted seeing the beautiful form, how Krishna reciprocated with him. And he called the others. And when they saw, they said, he's the most beautiful form of Krishna. You see, by then, Rupa Goswami's Radha Govinda was there, and Sanatan Goswami's Madan Mohan was there, and also Madhu Pandit's Radha Gopinath were there. So Rupa Goswami's Govindaji's lotus feet are perfect, right? They're the most enchanting, most beautiful lotus feet. And what is the speciality of Madan Mohan? The middle part of the body is very, very attractive. The Tribanga, middle part, is very, very attractive. And Gopinath, the face,
Gopinath face.
Gopinath's face is most beautiful. So when the Rupa Goswami saw this deity, he said, this Radharaman has all the three qualities of these three deities. He has the lotus feet like Radha Govinda, he has the middle portion like Madan Mohan, and he has the face like Radha Gopinath. He's the ultimate deity like that. So that deity appeared today, Radha Ramanji's appearance day. And then there are further pastimes of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. I just wanted to say that. And we'll read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. And
Mataji,
also,
but why Radharani is they worship in the stone form? I mean,
because
small. That I
because
didn't.
Krishna appeared, only Krishna appeared, but his name is Radha Raman. How can he's the one who gives pleasure to Radharani? That means Radharani is already there with him. There with him. So that is why they don't have separate. He's Radha Raman, Radharani is there. And besides, he's self-manifest. He just appeared. So if he wanted Radharani from outside, he would have manifested her also, isn't it? But I don't know the story exactly why. But this is just my understanding. But they dress in such a way on the side like Radharani is already there. But you don't have. Yeah, Priyanka Mataji knows something. Go ahead, Mataji.
No, no, Mataji, I don't know much. I wanted to know Radha Gopinath Didi is whose worshipable deity it is?
I
Radha
was
Gopinath?
listening. Radha Gopinath Madhu Pandit Maharaj said this morning.
Madhupad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You can double check also. I was listening this morning and I remember he said Madhu Pandit. Okay. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. We are going over time. Continuation. He, however, approves of the so-called sadhus who do social service. Okay, let me just go back a little bit to see where we are. Bhaktivedanta Swami charged that Pandit Nehru thought that any spiritual organization is a dungeon for accumulating public funds and then misuse it for questionable purposes. He, however, approves of the so-called sadhus who do social service and talk nonsense in the spiritual science. This is so because he has no depth of spiritual knowledge for himself, although he is Brahmin and Pandit. Ignorance in spiritual knowledge is the qualification of the Shudras or the laboring class. You cannot call yourself a Brahmana if you don't have spiritual knowledge. How you can call yourself a Pandit, right? So why this thing is coming here? Because Pandit Nehru is warning. Remember, the whole society after independence, the leaders, they're all moving towards industrialization, following the Western thought. The British left, but they left their philosophy with us. Faithful followers in India, leaders, they are faithfully following the British rule. So they didn't allow our Sanatan Dharma. So what type of independence we have? That was what we were discussing. So the leaders at that time, Pandit Nehru, so he said that these all spiritual organizations, they are simply dungeons. That means showing their religion, so on and so forth. They are simply making money for their sense gratification. That was his idea. So the Prabhupada is retaliating and he's saying, yes, there may be some people who are doing like that, but Pandit Nehru thought that any spiritual organization is a dungeon. That means as soon as he says spiritual organization, then it's just a way of cheating. In other words, there's nothing called real religion. That was his thing, right? So Prabhupada is saying, however, Nehru approves of the so-called sadhus who do social service. Yeah, you dress like a sadhu. We have nowadays also. You dress like a sadhu and you come and you do social service. How you can improve your life and how you can improve your health and so on and so forth. What type of sadhu is this? And they talk all nonsense in the name of spiritual science. And such leaders who say religion is bekar, but they say they support such spiritual leaders who will come and talk about material life and how to improve your material life. All this is because such leaders have no depth of spiritual knowledge. That's the point. And anyone who doesn't have this spiritual knowledge is a Shudra, no matter what he calls himself, Pandit or whatever. He requested Pandit Nehru not to be afraid of the word God or Krishna. But we can assure him that there is no such cause of fear because Krishna is everyone's friend. Right? So you're afraid of God. No, there's no need to be afraid of the word Krishna because he is everyone's friend and is able to render real help to everyone. So Srila Prabhupada obviously is coming from the devotee's perspective, but the other person is atheist. Bhaktivedanta Swami ended by suggesting that immoral practices were not confined only to the temples, by the way, but were common to material civilizations all over the world. Not only in religious circles you find this type of cheating and immoral practices. Do you see immoral activities only in religious organizations? They're not happening outside. They're happening in all material civilizations all over the world. In particular, he cited the disturbances amongst youth that were becoming rampant in the 1960s, the hippie movement. The best thing will be for the physician to heal himself first. Because in godless civilization, while the occupants of the matas and temples have been the cause of headache for the pandit, the same thing under a different label has become the cause of headache for other European and Asian statesmen. Yes, Pandit Nehru is the leader in India, and he's saying for us the headache is all these pandits and these, sadhus, so-called sadhus. For him, that is the headache. Whereas the leaders of other countries, their headache is the hippie movement. Problems are there. That's the point. Same thing under a different label has become the cause of headache for other European and American statesmen. The unbridled youngsters of those countries, under the name of teddy boys in England, the rebels without cause in America, and the half strong in Germany, the leather jackets in Sweden, the children of the sun in Japan, and the style boys in USSR. My God, I was not aware of all this. Srila Prabhupada. Wow. So, are some of the byproducts of a godless civilization, and that is the root cause of all headache. So the cause of headache is not just the religious organization. The cause of headache is actual loss of real God consciousness, right? A godless civilization is the cause of all these problems, and you want to follow them. What are you're thinking they are making material advancement and you want to follow them? You're thinking you're going to be free of problems by following them. So the root cause of all headache is godless civilization. That requires a thorough treatment. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Srila Prabhupada is writing a letter to Nehru. Let me see. I kind of lost track here. Okay, easy journey to other planets, Srila Prabhupada wrote. If he were to go to West. Okay, so he had the Srimad Bhagavatam, he started writing. He would write and print a new article. So he still continued while he printed the easy journey to other planets, and then Srimad Bhagavatam also he started, but he continued back to Godhead, meaning he would write some articles. In Back to Godhead, he will put some articles. So one of the article was relevant inquiries. So what is happening in the society, relevant. So there. So in that article, Srila Prabhupada is bringing up what is the idea of Nehru, what are his statements, like that. So yeah, so not directly writing to Nehru, but hearing his statements, Srila Prabhupada is telling Nehru through his articles in his Back to Godhead magazine. Okay, so let's stop here. Thank you all so much for staying over time. Hare Krishna. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. I'll see you today evening or tomorrow morning.